Hello folks, my name is Josh Taylor and I'd like to welcome you to the 12th Annual Telling Tales Festival and our first ever virtual gathering. Whether you are a veteran fan who has been to the festival or whether this is your very first time joining us, we are so happy to see how stories connect us, no matter how far apart we live. Speaking of where we live, the Telling Tales Festival happens in a place where people have lived and told stories for thousands of years. It is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, and the neutral peoples. Today, it is home to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Six Nations of the Grand River, and to many other Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We recognize our responsibility to learn about their rich history so that we can better understand our roles as caretakers, neighbors, and friends. With a good heart and mind, we honor the sacred Indigenous tradition of storytelling by presenting our program today. Miigwech, Nyawe, and thank you. Hi everyone, this episode is called Family, Friends, and Neighbors. Today, we're going to hear about all the ways we connect with each other. That might be as a family, or as a neighborhood, or like we are doing right now, as an audience. Sometimes, we call all of those things together our community. Watch this whole episode for a chance to win a book from one of today's authors. I'll be giving you a clue about what to do to win, but you've got to listen carefully. Aimee is going to start us off today with a story about a little boy named Freddie who felt ordinary, but grew up to be a very special person. Aimee Reid shines a light on kindness all around us. Her stories Mama's Day with Little Gray and You Are My Friend show us all sorts of ways we can be caring to one another.
Hi, I'm Aimee Reid and my book is about friends. Have you ever wished that you could be with your friends? I wish I could see all of you in real life right now, but I'm glad that we can connect over this video. The child in my new book is named Freddie, and he had to miss out on being with his friends a lot. In the springtime, when everything was growing and green, Freddie Rogers had to stay inside. Flowers made him sniffle, plants made him sneeze. Freddie had allergies. Freddie had other illnesses too. He spent many days in bed. Sometimes he had to stay inside for weeks at a time. Being sick made it hard to make friends. Often when Freddie felt sad or mad, lonely or scared, he kept his feelings inside, but he wanted someone to know how he felt. Freddie found that he could talk about his feelings with puppets. He gathered them around him on his bed. That way, it seemed as though he was with a whole group of friends. Freddie learned many creative ways to deal with feeling lonely or sad. He wrote music, he played games and made stories, and he learned to look for helpers in his neighborhood. One special helper was Freddie's grandpa. He told Fred that he was special and that just by being who he was, he made the day special too. As Fred thought about those words, he became braver. He reached out and made friends, even with people who weren't like him. When he grew up, Fred decided to make a television show for children. He called it Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and his program was on the air for over 30 years. At first, Fred felt shy to be in front of the camera, but he found out that his grandpa was right. Just by being himself, Fred made his show special. Fred told stories with puppets. He played music that he wrote. He invited helpers to show what they liked to do or explain how things worked. Fred explained to his neighbors that feelings were important. You could talk about them, or you could show your feelings in other ways. If you were mad, you could pound clay or run fast. If you were sad, you could sing a song soft and low. If you were happy, you could dance. Fred helped people learn to like themselves. He helped them to be good neighbors. Fred never forgot how his grandpa made him feel. Over and over, he would look right into the camera and pass along the important words that changed his life. You've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. We don't have to live beside each other to be neighbors and friends. I dedicated my book to you, my neighbor. I hope that you will make good friends and be a good friend. And I hope you will always remember the note that I put in the back of my book to you. You are valuable, you are important, you are enough, just as you are.
Mr. Rogers was famous for saying, "There's no person in the world like you, and I like you just the way you are." Mr. Rogers was also famous for his neighborhood. Let's take a walk around Hamilton to discover all the things that are part of a neighborhood and help create what we call community. Now that you've seen a few examples of who or what might be a part of a neighborhood, I'd like you to post your ideas of who is an important part of your neighborhood or community. You could win a book from one of today's authors. Sometimes, the way we connect with our family and friends is through activities like cooking. I love cooking and eating. Anoosha is here to tell us her story about a dad who makes a special dish. Anoosha Syed is a very famous Pakistani-Canadian illustrator who has drawn characters for countless children's books and for animated Disney films like Life of Pi and Mulan. Her very first picture book, Bilal Cooks Dal, shows us how we can create a community by sharing our family traditions.
Hello everyone, my name is Anoosha Syed and today I'm going to be talking about my book, Bilal Cooks Dal. The story is about a boy called Bilal whose favorite food is dal, which is a delicious slow-cooked lentil stew that he loves to cook with his dad. So he's so excited to share this meal with his friends. They've never tried it before and he's also a little bit nervous that they might not like it. In the end, everyone comes together to cook this awesome dinner and they all love it as much as he does. This book actually means a lot to me because Bilal is Pakistani and so am I. When I was little, I loved to read books, but unfortunately, I never saw anyone with kids who looked like me or who were South Asian. Now that I'm an adult who, draws books for a living, I'm really happy that now I get the chance to create books which feature characters who are South Asian from like a variety of different cultures, so that hopefully some kid out there relates to the book or a kid can learn about a new culture. I love being able to create a book that shares my culture with everyone. Besides the fact that the book is about a very traditional meal, I also like including little details into the artwork. Things like Bilal taking off his shoes before he goes into the house, or his dad carrying a cup of chai around everywhere. Bilal Cooks Dal is about cooking, but it's also about friends and family. I really like that the story moves away from cliche gender norms, and it's the story of a father and a son cooking together. Bilal's dad teaches him step by step how to make his favorite meal, as well as the importance of patience because this dish actually takes the whole day to make. Like Bilal says on the very last page, dal is tiny, dal is tough. But with a little time and a lot of patience, it becomes the softest, tastiest, best thing in the whole wide world. And the best part is sharing it with friends. Speaking of friends, at the end of the book, all the kids in the neighborhood come down to his house to try the dal. Earlier, Bilal was a little bit anxious for them to try it, thinking that maybe his friends might think that it tastes a bit weird or tastes funny. Even when I was a kid, I know that I'd be a bit nervous to bring my school lunches that my mom made for me to school, thinking that maybe my friends might think it was weird. But it's always fun to try new things, and in the end, everyone loved it. In fact, if you guys have never tried dal before, which I highly recommend, it's so yummy, there's actually a great recipe of it included at the end. If you make it, remember to share it with your friends and family because I'm sure they'll love it too. Anyway, that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, Anoosha. Does your family have a special dish that everyone loves? My favorite is, macaroni pie, or jerk chicken and rice and peas, or roti, or spicy beans. There's a lot. I have a lot of favorite foods. Anyways, music is another way we form communities. Here's my friend Christopher with a song about getting ready in the morning.
2, 1. Get dressed, get dressed. When you wake up in the morning, get dressed. Open up your sleepy eyes, put your head in a shirt, put your feet in your socks and get dressed. Well, you wake up every morning, so why do you look so surprised? And I give you the same old warning, you got a strange look in your eyes.
What day is it? Is it morning? Who are you? Where's mommy?
Just listen up, kid, and get dressed. Get dressed. When you wake up in the morning, get dressed. Now I know you'd like to fake it and walk around naked, but the cat is acting weird, so get dressed. Ba-da-doo-bop, beep-bop, beep-bop, be-a-da-doo-da-dee-dee-da. Da-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. Da-dee-da-da-dee-da-da-da. Ra-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yap-ba-ba-ya-da-da-ya-da-doo-dee-dee-doo-doo-doo. Get dressed, get dressed. When you wake up in the morning, get dressed. Open up your sleepy eyes, put your head in a shirt, put some socks on your feet, put a leg in each hole, take your pajamas off your head, take your pants off again, you forgot your underwear, do I have to spell it out, I tell you every step, just listen to me, kid, and get dressed. Please.
I'll get ready, I'll get ready. That's nice though, eh? Look at that. Sometimes there are big changes in our families. Naseem's story tells us how a father and son figured out a very big one. Weekend Dad is about a boy who suddenly has 2 homes when his dad moves out. Naseem writes stories about new experiences and big feelings. She loves getting up on a stage to tell true stories, and she loves coffee ice cream.
Hi everyone, my name is Naseem Hrab, and my story is about family, but about a different kind of family. It's about a family who is experiencing divorce. Now, divorce is something that happens when 2 parents decide that they don't want to live together anymore. And I know that that seems like a sad and scary thing, and it is, but a family can recalibrate and a family can rebuild, and that's what this book is about. The book is about a little boy who's visiting his dad's new apartment for the first time after his parents get divorced. Now, it's based on my own experiences growing up. When I was 8 years old, my parents got divorced, and I had to go back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house. And it was really hard. You have some toys at your dad's house that are not at your mom's house. You have different things that you used to do all together as a family that you don't do anymore. It's a lot. But I'm hoping that this story shows that while these things are hard and hard to understand and go through, that really the love that exists between a mom and a child or a dad and a child is always there. So I thought I'd read a bit from the story. On Monday morning, my dad moved out of our house and into an apartment. He said he won't be far, just a bus ride away, down the street, past the park, and through the tunnel. Before he left, I packed a bunch of photos in my dad's suitcase so he wouldn't forget us by the weekend. On Tuesday, I woke up thinking about how my dad's hair looks red in the sunlight. Most of the time, I wake up thinking about toast. On Wednesday, I visited my hamster's grave. My dad cried when he buried Abraham. I was sad too, but I didn't cry. On Thursday, my mom and I ate tuna fish sandwiches for dinner. My dad hates tuna fish. I think I've been thinking a lot about my dad this week. On Friday night, my mom and I packed my pajamas, 2 sweaters, 2 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of underpants, my toothbrush, and Wendell. My dad rings the doorbell and I kiss my mom goodbye. It's my weekend with my dad. We take the bus to the apartment, down the street, past the park, and through the tunnel. And I tell my dad all about my week. I tell him about the dragon catcher I invented. I tell him about the boy in grade 6 who tripped me at recess. And I tell him about the sour candy that Marlo dared me to try. It wasn't that sour. The bus ride feels like 3 seconds, but according to Wendell, it lasts 48 minutes. My dad says I have 2 homes now. So I realize I probably left us on a bit of a cliffhanger, but I assure you that the story becomes much happier after that. One of the things that makes this story so unique is that it also includes a letter that my dad wrote to me when I was 9 years old, after my parents got divorced. And I thought that now, given the pandemic and the fact that so many of us aren't able to see our friends and family members as much as we want, that it might be really lovely to write a letter to those people and tell them how much you love them and miss them. So on that note, I'm gonna read part of the letter that my dad wrote to me in the hopes that it inspires you to write your own letters. So I won't read you the whole letter. It's very, very long, but I will read you a little bit of it. So here he says, "Because I'm not able to say it to you at this time, I must print it out. As one of my children, I want you never to forget that you are loved, have always been loved, and will always be loved by your father. Your mother loves you, as do your brothers, but I want this for you. Love is like an envelope around the letter. It offers protection. If you feel and understand this love, it will help you when sad things happen to you, as life is filled with unexpected surprises, and not all are happy. If you feel loved, it makes your personality stronger, and when you bump your knee, the pain is much less. And if a friend lets you down, the sadness does not last as long. You have a permanent spot in my heart and mind." So thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you take this time to write to your friends and family members that you love so much. Bye.
I liked Naseem's idea about writing a letter to the people you love. Why don't you try this and share it with someone you love? There are other ways for us to share our feelings with each other, beyond using our words. Our friend Annie is here to show us how we can symbolize how we feel about our buddies by making something special.
Hello, my name's Annie Weber, and today we're going to be making some friendship bracelets to celebrate old friends and welcome new friends. Here we go. Here is everything we will need. Some embroidery floss, some seed beads, some elastic, and a pair of scissors. So first we're going to choose our colors. And of course, when you're making a friendship bracelet for someone, it might be a good idea to think about their favorite colors. So I'm going to think about my friend Aimee. Aimee has a friendly personality, so we're going to use bright colors. Oh, that's nice. Now we're going to cut the length of our string, or thread, or floss, whatever you want to call it. Usually about a bit more than your arm length should do. And I'm going to be cutting 4 pieces of thread. After you've got your strings cut, fold them in half and make a knot at the top. strings folded in half, twist, and through. And I like to keep the loop at the top pretty short. One way to hold the bracelet while you're making it is to have a friend hold the other end for you. You could also take a piece of tape and thread it through and then take it to your table. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm comfortable holding it in my hand. So the first thing I'm gonna do is isolate one string and put it to the left-hand side. I'm making the shape of the number 4 with the other strings, and then with the end of my string, I'm going to come under, pull tight. And I'll repeat that a couple of times. Make the shape of the number 4 with the one string over top of all the others, and then bring it under all the others and pull through. So I'm about to switch my color here, which is as simple as letting the first thread drop and join the others and pulling out your new color. So the same process, make the 4 or the sail shape and pull tight. So something I like to do while I'm working on my friendship bracelets is think about the friend I'm making it for. So this is for an old friend, so I can think about all the nice times we've had. Oops. But if it was going to be for a new friend, I could think about all the nice times we're going to have. Something I might like to do with my new friend or a place I might like to show them. I'm gonna put this one down for a minute though and show you how to make a bracelet with beads. The only thing that's different is this piece of elastic, which I've included in the knot at the top. So I've got a couple knots done here. Now I'm going to find my elastic and take a bead and thread it on. Now I'm bringing that bead all the way to the top, and I will continue with some more knots. So we've made some progress on these two bracelets with some beads and this one without. And all that's left to do is tie this on your friend's wrist. So something nice to do is maybe tell them a little bit about why you like them so much, why you're friends, or some happy memories. And you can also tell them that when it falls off, because they always do, that your friend can make a wish. And to tell you when it falls off so that you can be happy about it too. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Annie, and thank you for making me a friendship bracelet. I can think of a lot of people I'd like to make these for. And they look good with like tutting too. Our final story is about a little girl who meets her whole community as she goes up on a very special elevator ride. Sherry Lee loves living in an apartment building where she looks right out onto the trees and there are lots of interesting people. Going Up is the first picture book she has written. She's got help from Charlene Chua, who made all the illustrations for it. Charlene is a very busy artist, originally from Singapore, who now lives here in Hamilton. She has drawn pictures for countless children's books, and she has also created this year's Telling Tales Festival poster.
Hey Charlene.
Hi everyone, hi Sherry Lee.
And hello to everyone who is joining us today. We're going to be talking about our book called Going Up, which is a fun and funny book about community and family and friends. So I thought just to give you a sense of the book, I would read the first few pages. So are you ready? Going Up. Today, Dad and I are invited to a party on the 10th floor. From Francesca Pianalto to Leonard and Sophie. You are invited to Olive's birthday party. Where? 10th floor party room. When? Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. Dad and I baked our favorite cookies this morning to take to the party. Molasses with jam in the middle, like a sandwich. It's my grandma's recipe. We put them on a special plate. Dad holds the plate for me so I can push the button. Ding! Going up. The elevator stops on the 2nd floor. When the doors open, the Santucci brothers, Andrew and Pippo, are waiting to get on. Hey, Little Bit! Pippo always calls me Little Bit. Going up. The elevator stops again on the 3rd floor. It's Vicky, Babs, and their dog, Norman. Norman, I love you too, I say, laughing. Look at, he's giving her a kiss. Going up. And it continues until the 10th floor when the fun really begins, and there's a wonderful surprise at the end about the birthday girl. So it's pretty fun.
So Sherry Lee, I have a question for you. What are some of the things in Going Up that you like the most?
That's a really good question. I think the thing that I like the most about the book is how everybody in the building, they all get along. They're all friends. And even though they're all quite different from each other, like there are older people, there's a baby, there are people who have different kinds of friendships, different cultural backgrounds, and yet they all are friends. I think that's my favorite part of the book. Charlene, I had a question I wanted to ask you. When you were trying to think of how to create the characters visually, were they based on people that you know, or did you just create them out of your imagination?
So when I was creating the characters for the story, some of them are based on people that I know. Some of them are inspired by people that live in my neighborhood, and some of them are inspired by the wonderful descriptions that you wrote for the different characters.
Charlene, if you lived in the building that's in the book, who would be your best friend, do you think?
If I lived in the building in Going Up, my closest friend would be the cat, because I love cats. So Sherry Lee, what is the name of your favorite animal friend?
Oh, the name of my best animal friend is Livy, short for Livingston. Livy lives a floor above me with her human, Daphne. And Daphne's getting older, so it's difficult for her to walk. So I get to take Livy for a walk twice a day. And sometimes she even can stay overnight and stay with me for a few days. So we sort of share Livy, but she is my best animal friend for sure. How about you, Charlene? Tell me about your animal friends.
My animal friends, when I was a kid, I lived in an apartment block, and I had for a short period of time a pigeon. This is a picture of me when I was 8 years old, and that's the pigeon. So the pigeon had, my grandfather found it. It had a broken wing, and we helped look after it for a few weeks, and it got better, and one day it flew away. And I was sad, but I was also glad that the pigeon got better and hopefully live a happy life.
Charlene, it was so great to see those pictures of your pets. And I just wanted to say that I am so looking forward to when you can come over and visit me in my 10-story building that I live in, and I'm going to make you molasses cookies just like the ones in the book. I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody and thank you. And don't forget to hug your pet friend today. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, is she ever lucky to only have to step on an elevator to visit with all our neighbors? We've heard lots of stories today about our daily lives, stories about our neighborhoods, the people who live near us, our friends and our family, and people like us who come together because we share a common interest. All of this is how we create what we call a community. Don't forget to comment on who is an important part of your neighborhood for a chance to win a book from one of today's presenters. Be sure also to upload your pictures or stories of what makes your neighborhood special to the Creativity Club on the Telling Tales website. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make friends with your neighbors. Thanks for joining us, and remember to visit our website for more events and to upload your artwork, your writing, your videos, and your ideas to the Telling Tales Creativity Club. Telling Tales is all about the joy of discovering how stories connect us. Tell us what you thought of this episode by filling out the survey on the Telling Tales website, and you could win a book from one of today's authors. See you again.